Welcome to Frequency Matters, the RF Microwave Update series. I'm Pat Hindle, and I'm here with my co-host Eric Keim. This episode, we're going to continue our coverage of the March Test and Measurement issue with a special focus section on cable and connectors. As I mentioned before, our special focus sections and supplements are available as PDF ebooks for download for readers for easy access and archiving, plus they give our advertisers more visibility and lead generation opportunities. So as a reminder, our March cover feature is optimizing D-band amplifiers, driving into RF measurement challenges. And this article discusses the challenges in large signal characterization of D-band PAs using sub-terahertz load tuning measurement setup. So Eric, what do we have for technical articles in the special focus section on cable and connectors?
Thanks, Pat. Well, we have a couple of good articles in the special focus section. The cover story for that section is an article from Samtech that looks at the evolution of interconnects and benchtop RF testing. So the article takes the reader through how cables and connectors and test fixtures have evolved as measurement equipment has gotten more sophisticated. And so it's a good reminder that there's more to making a good measurement than just an expensive piece of test equipment. We've also got a special report from Huber and Sooner that takes a little different tack and talks about the challenges that the rapid growth of electrified commercial vehicles are posing for high voltage cable assemblies and connectors. So the article gives us some good insight into the EV market and its drivers, along with how the company is addressing the reliability, performance, and manufacturing challenges to enable the growth trajectory that the EV industry is anticipating.
And for our product features in the cables and connectors section, we have proprietary connector design that enhances quality and phase stability from Junkasha. We had high density connection that enhances PXIe from the Phoenix Company of Chicago, and selecting the right RF cable assembly from Smiths Interconnect. And we also had one tech brief from Swissbridge Technologies on durable RF cable assemblies. So we did have a special guest join us today. I talked with Alan Maloney, Managing Director at Analog Devices, about the status of 5G technology and its future developments. So let's take a look at a clip from that now. So let's talk about energy savings in the RAN. Is AI going to be the solution?
Yeah, good question. So so I guess when we talk about energy, first and foremost, energy is a big deal. It always has been. I think we have a number that I think about 1.6% of all global emissions comes from telco networks. So I mean, obviously that's a significant OpEx burden that the operators and the telco providers have to take on. I think on the environmental side, it's an issue too. I mean, obviously there's a lot of focus on that on emissions. So that's there's impacts there. There's also, I think, a lot of secondary impacts when it comes to the design of the systems themselves. So you have to deal with cooling, size, weight, volume. We've even seen some systems with integrated fans and from various vendors, which are very a lot of complexity, a lot of extra weight. So a lot of issues kind of. The energy problem creates like a lot of dimensions to the issues that need to be tackled, I guess. So I think in terms of AI, I mean, look, AI is definitely going to have a place in networking and infrastructure. We probably both saw it in Barcelona at MWC. There was AI was everywhere, and a lot of people are looking for places to find it to come in and make a difference and disrupt. I think there are some really obvious cases in management of the network, so dynamic network management and the data flows and optimizing and all that kind of stuff. I think there's really there's some low-hanging fruit there in obvious areas where it's going to be deployed. For energy specifically, I think it's kind of a mixed bag, right? I think for sure there's a lot of innovation we've been doing around energy for 15 years, right, in our radios and in our transceivers.
It was really interesting to see what's next for 5G and how Analog Devices is leading the way in designing platforms for the industry. So turning to the news, I saw that researchers at University of Waterloo have developed a radar device that is cell phone-sized box, and it attaches behind the seat that you're sitting in and monitors chest movements for analysis by an algorithm aided by AI to monitor your heartbeat. And data collected by the device is converted into a heartbeat profile, and deviations from the normal are used to flag potential problems for further examination. So they pay special attention to the measurement known as QTC interval, And it's basically the time it takes between a heartbeat when it resets between beats. So if this interval is too long, it kind of indicates an elevated risk of cardiac events. So this study is published in the Nature Scientific Reports, and it's called Smart Furniture Using Radar Technology for Cardiac Health Monitoring. So check that out. So on the acquisition front, there are a couple of developments. Teradyne announced that they've entered into a definitive agreement to acquire privately held Quantify Photonics. And this is an acquisition that will enable Teradyne to deliver scalable photonic integrated circuit test solutions, as this technology is leveraging wafer-based manufacturing, multi-die integration, and advanced packaging with high-speed I/O interfaces to enable rapidly evolving high-performance compute market to support AI workloads. And Siemens also announced that they have completed the acquisition of Altair for an enterprise value of approximately $10 billion. And with this acquisition, Siemens extends its leadership in simulation and industrial AI, and this will add new capabilities in mechanical and electromagnetic simulation, high-performance computing, data science, and AI. So there seems to be like only maybe 3 or 4 large simulation companies left in our industry. Eric, how about you for news?
Well, in recognition of it being spring, let me start with a news release that has a headline that starts with Signs of Life. So I thought that was appropriate. And even more appropriate, it's a release from Dell'Oro Group talking about their latest thoughts on the broadband access equipment market. And they report that Q4 2024 revenue in this segment was up on both a quarterly and yearly basis. So that's the good news. However, those gains weren't enough to push 2024 into positive territory, and they believe that global economic uncertainty, high capital and labor costs, and equipment delays threaten a return to growth in 2025. So that's the not so good news. But they are seeing pockets of growth, and this market segment is kind of the canary in the coal mine to me because the access equipment market reflects data traffic trends. And I'm a firm believer that data traffic is one of the most important drivers of the entire electronics market. So keep an eye on those developments. I also see that Ericsson and Dry Austria are testing W-band frequencies, so 92 to 115 gigahertz, to enhance urban 5G connectivity. And they're investigating point-to-point links for densely populated areas in conjunction with E-band efforts. And related to that, NTT Docomo, and NEC announced that they demonstrated a real-time bidirectional wireless transmission in E-band between 71 and 86 gigahertz that achieved a rate of 140 gigabits per second over roughly a 100-meter link using an orbital angular momentum mode multiplexing transmission technology. And the companies claim that this is the highest data rate for sub-100 gigahertz frequency transmission. So more evidence that the industry is working hard to improve the broadband access that Dell'Oro is reporting on in the first news item I mentioned.
Yeah, that's impressive work done there. So turning to events, we covered Mobile World Congress and the satellite show last time, but we recently got the stats from the satellite event, which were pretty impressive. They had 14,900 attendees and a show record 473 exhibitors at the Washington Convention Center with 280 speakers on the agenda. So the show provided valuable days to learn, network, and discover the newest innovations shaping the future of the space sector. And if you compare this to IMS, which has around 600 companies exhibiting, so a lot more, they only get less than 10,000 attendees. So a big difference there on attendee to exhibitor ratio. So I also wanted to highlight that the 2025 IEEE International Symposium on Antennas and Propagation and the North American Radio Science Meeting is taking place July 13th through the 18th in Ottawa, Canada. So if you'd like to exhibit there, please go to their website or contact a Microwave Journal salesperson. And Eric, I think you're moderating a really good panel coming up tomorrow, AI and RF. Maybe you can tell us about that and some of the other activities.
Yeah, I am. And that'll be a good panel session tomorrow. We've got experts from the design and computational software community in Keysight EDA, Cadence, and MathWorks, along with an RF Mimic Solutions company in Miller Mimic. So we're going to get into the hows and whys and whens, along with other topics concerning AI and RF. So I'm looking forward to that. And also, we've got a panel on May the 8th that will address metamaterials and one on June the 5th on satellite and space. So please bookmark your calendars for those events and keep an eye out for registration details. And that wraps up this episode. Our sponsors are RFMW and Analog Devices. RFMW is a technical distributor of RF and microwave products and now power management products. When you start your next design, consider their multiple product lines. Analog Devices is a leader in the design, manufacture, and marketing of a broad portfolio of high-performance analog, mixed signal, and digital signal processing integrated circuits used in virtually all types of electronic equipment. And remember, as a member of the industry, a subscription to Microwave Journal is free, so please visit our site and subscribe today if you're not already a reader. Also, please give us a like and subscribe to our channels. Thanks for watching this episode, and please join us next time for another Frequency Matters.